What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you NFL trade prediction video on Mark Andrews. I believe he'll be moved to the Jacksonville Jaguars by the trade deadline. Now, let's get into why, guys. So, I was one of those guys online pushing the narrative of Mark Andrews being moved on by the Ravens this past offseason. To me, it made so much sense. Isaiah likely has been the successor for him for a while now. Both have been playing well solo when one or the other has missed games, and also they've been good together too. So, but I don't know. Just how last year ended, it makes the most sense. That the Bills game was definitely a bad ending to the season in the divisional round. Cost them another chance at the AFC title game, but he wasn't moved on from. He was kept. And if you don't know, Andrews on the last year of his contract, and right now the way everything is set up, the way the records are, they're 1-4. They could easily be 1-5 after Sunday's game. It's a perfect time right now to move on from Andrews, even if the Ravens do get back together and get it out together, get back healthy, and make a little run towards the end of the season. I don't believe they need Andrews to do so. And also, their defense. Now they have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Gilman, or Gilliam, whatever I forgot his name now, from the safety from the Chargers. Cal Hampton and those boys, they're not really scared of Andrews, in my opinion. I think if they were to trade him away in the AFC and see him in the playoffs, they wouldn't be scared of him. Cal Hampton, in theory, in their eyes, could lock him up, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson can do some damage as well. Physical, tough safety. So I don't think they're fearful of Mark Andrews, and also they trust that they're guys. So if they were to see him down the line with another team, they should be just fine. Now going to the Jacksonville Jaguars perspective. Well, but first before I get there, a lot of people, especially on social media, even during the summer, a lot of people were saying the Los Angeles Chargers should target Mark Andrews, and at that time it made sense. Before they got Will Dillisley in free agency from the Seahawks, former Seahawks tight end. I thought before they landed him, it made sense. Now they have him, they have him and Conklin. I don't see the room, being that big to have all three guys plus their receivers. I know Herbert throws the ball around a whole lot now, especially with Hampton being out for a little stretch. I just don't see the fit. It's just too many tight ends, too many good guys too. I like Dillisley a lot, good red zone weapon. I like Conklin, former Jet, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a former Jet. So they have some good tight ends in that room. I don't see it being big enough for all three of those guys. And Andrews is clearly the better guy out of all three, but it's just too many weapons. That's too many tight ends galore for one room, in my personal opinion. So I have the Chargers not being a great fit right now, but during the offseason before they either added Willisley or, they either added Dillisley or Conklin this offseason, or both. I forgot which one they added, but yeah, I just don't see them going to the Chargers now. I think the 4-1 Jaguars make the most sense. Their starting tight end, Strange, just went down. Forgot the injury he had, maybe a hip or something, maybe if I'm not mistaken. So many injuries going on, so many players, so it's hard to keep up track. But, he has no depth behind him. The next guy up should be Hunter Long. He's not really, a pass catching type of guy. No real numbers behind him. So I think maybe after a game or two, and I said Strange is on IR, so he'll be out for at least 4 games. I think somewhere in between him coming back, they add Andrews, and he will be a perfect fit with and without Strange. So when Strange does come, when Strange, if the move does happen and Strange does come back, perfect for both for both of them. More weapons to the offense. Liam Cohen, very good offensive coordinator, very good strategist. He will find a way to use those guys. And the Jags, they're in the hunt right now. They are in the hunt. They are in the mix as a top team record-wise in the AFC. Now, do you believe in them? That's your opinion. But, record-wise, they are definitely in the hunt. They are in the mix. And they should be getting better. First time in the offense, we saw now through a quarter of the season, haven't really looked sharp. Lawrence or none of the other guys, Thomas, Travis Hunter, they haven't looked quite sharp yet, but as the season goes on, I would assume and I would hope for Jaguars fans that they do look sharper, they do look better. And as we've seen in that Chiefs game and just all season long, their defense has been opportunistic. Devin Lloyd playing like the best linebacker in football. They just traded for Greg Newsome. They traded the other their former top corner Campbell to the Browns for Greg Newsome. So they're doing some things. They're mixing and matching, already trading things, trying to get better for their new scheme. New regime, new coaching staff in there now, and they're playing man coverage. So that move makes sense a lot. I think this move makes sense even more for the offense. Get Trevor Lawrence going more, keep him more consistent. Doesn't have to throw downfield as much. Kind of dink and dunk him and throwing the Andrews and Strange. Hunter going middle of the field and deep. Same for what's the tight end's name? Thomas, short, middle of the field, deep. And kind of just take the shots when needed, but really play conservative. Have two safety blankets in Andrews and Strange. I think that makes the most sense there, in my opinion, man. And as I said, back to the Ravens, I don't think they're fearful of Mark Andrews. They've seen him for the last 6, 7, 8 years. They know what he can and can't do. And I believe they trust that their guys, Cal Hamilton, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, all those guys, Roquan Smith. I think that team will definitely be confident facing any team, especially facing a guy that have a guy like Mark Andrews, who they've seen and played against and played with for played with and also against in practice for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So it'll be sad to see though. We've seen trades happen before, and Andrews does seem like a cemented Raven, but last year of his contract, like I said, you have Likely, you have Kohler. I just don't see the fit any longer, especially with the team being 1-4, and they're going to have a very tough time trying to get back in the playoff race after potentially losing to the Rams and being 1-5. There is an argument to keep Andrews around, but you have so many weapons. You have Hopkins, Bateman, Flowers, Likely, Kohler, the running backs, Henry. Like, you can go on and on. Even the fifth, sixth string wide receivers are pretty good. Wallace, Dez Walker from Carolina a couple years ago had 3 touchdowns the first 2 or 3 games. He's a speedster on the outside. They have weapons everywhere and on defense too. So there's an argument both ways to keep Andrews, and also to trade him. But in my opinion, it's best right now to get something for him. Maybe a third, fourth, because whoever team trades for him has to probably pay him too. I don't know if the Jags will or not. We'll see there if that were to happen. If not the Jaguars, I don't really know. Maybe the Eagles. They're in a weird spot though, adding more weapons to a team that doesn't really need it. They need to use their weapons more. You already have you already have AJ Brown pouting on the sidelines, pouting to the media, pouting behind the scenes. You already have Devontae Smith not looking happy on the sideline too, and Hurts already trying to feed guys as it is. So adding more might not be the answer for the Eagles, but it does make sense. Goddard been banged up last year and a half. Playing okay now, but like I said, he does kind of stay banged up. You can bring in Andrews, kind of run 12 personnel, 2 tight end personnel more, which they already do a nice amount now. Andrews a good blocker too, so I don't mind that move, but I think they might need cornerback a lot more. Sauce Gardner's pretty rich for the position, but maybe Reek Woolen from the Seahawks. There's more names out there as well. You can try to fit in if you're the Eagles. So I don't know any more teams out there for him right now. That makes the most sense. But I think the Jags 3rd or 4th round pick. I would really, but they are kind of low. The thing with two is the thing about that, the Jags did spend first round or 2 on trading up for Travis Hunter, so they don't want to use too much of their draft assets on a guy like Andrews. Like I said, so maybe a 3rd or 4th, maybe in a 5th, depending on how desperate the Ravens are from getting off of him. Like I said, but like I said, there's no more contract left for this year, so it's kind of tricky. It is tricky, but like I said, I'm gonna stick with the Jacksonville Jaguars, maybe the Eagles. Who else could be out there right now that I can think of? That's probably it. Broncos. Evan Ingram can get banged up. If Sean Payton want to get. Sean Payton is known for having 2 tight ends too, so that wouldn't be terrible either. So we'll see. But I'm gonna stick with the Jags right now. If Andrews is moved on from, and I think he will be. This is the first video of more coming out about trade deadline, because trade deadline moves are should be well, they're happening now already, but they should be getting more intense. I think the trade deadline ends in November 4th, if not mistaken. So in a couple weeks, so we'll see maybe some big names being moved. Sauce, not soft. Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall, some of these guys could be moved on from soon. So we will see what happens, guys. But that's it for the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.